If your container garden keeps struggling, plants that look limp, roots that rot, flowers that never quite bloom the way you hoped, I want you to stop and think about one thing. Not your watering, not your sunlight, not even the type of plant you chose. Think about what is sitting inside that pot. Because here is something that most gardeners, even people who have been doing this for years, never realize. The soil inside your container could be the very reason everything keeps going wrong. And the fix is not complicated. It does not cost a fortune. And once you know it, you will never make this mistake again. So if you have ever scooped soil straight from your garden bed and tipped it into a pot, stay with me. Because what I am about to share could completely change the way your container garden performs starting this season. In this video, I am going to show you the only type of soil you should ever use in a container garden. I will explain exactly why ordinary soil fails in pots, what the right soil actually does for your plants, and how to choose the best one next time you are standing in the garden center staring at a wall of bags. By the end of this video, you will know precisely what to look for, what to avoid, and even how to supercharge your mix to get the best results possible, whether you are growing flowers, vegetables, herbs, or anything in between. This is the kind of information that makes container gardening feel effortless. No more guessing. No more wasted money on plants that do not make it. Just healthy, thriving containers that you actually enjoy looking after. If you have ever planted something in a container and felt a little confused about why it is not doing well, you are not alone. So many gardeners, especially those just starting out, feel that way. You do everything right. You water it. You put it in a sunny spot. You chose a lovely plant from the nursery, and yet something is just off. Here at Stress-Free Garden Living, we believe gardening should feel enjoyable, not frustrating. It should fit into your life without demanding hours of your time or endless troubleshooting. And one of the biggest reasons people find container gardening harder than it needs to be is because of one very simple, very fixable mistake. They are using the wrong soil. It is not your fault. Most of us were never taught the difference. But once you understand it, everything gets easier, and your plants will thank you for it. Now, before we dive in, I want to flag something I am going to share later in this video that surprises a lot of people. It is a simple trick for making any potting mix work even harder, and it costs almost nothing. A lot of experienced gardeners do not even know about it. So make sure you stick around until the end, because that tip alone could be the difference between a container garden that just survives and one that truly thrives. Let us start at the very beginning. If you have a garden bed, the soil in it might look perfectly fine. It is dark, it feels rich, and things seem to grow in it. So why on earth would you not use it in your pots? Here is the truth. Garden soil behaves completely differently once you put it inside a container. In an open garden bed, soil is part of a living, breathing ecosystem. Earthworms move through it. Rain passes through it. Roots can spread as far as they need to. But the moment you scoop that same soil into a pot, everything changes. Confined in a small space, garden soil compacts. It presses down under its own weight. Air pockets disappear. Drainage becomes almost impossible. Water sits at the bottom of the pot and has nowhere to go. And roots, which need oxygen just as much as they need water, begin to suffocate. That is not all. Garden soil can also carry weed seeds, fungal spores, and pest eggs that you would never notice in a large outdoor space, but that can cause real damage in the enclosed world of a pot. The visual outcome is one you might already recognize. Plants that look wilted even though you just watered them. Leaves turning yellow for no obvious reason. Roots that look brown and mushy when you tip the pot out. All of that can trace back to the soil. So the simple action step here is this. Never use soil dug directly from your garden in a container. It is one of the most common mistakes, and one of the easiest to avoid once you know it. Now that we know what we are trying to avoid, let us talk about what we actually need from the soil in a container. Think about it this way. A container is a closed system. Unlike a garden bed, it has no connection to the ground. Everything your plant needs, water, nutrients, air, has to come from what is inside that pot. So the soil has to work much harder. Good container soil needs to do 4 things really well. First, it needs to drain properly. Water must be able to move through the mix and out of the drainage holes at the bottom. If it cannot, roots will rot. Second, it needs to hold on to just enough moisture between waterings. Not too much, not too little. Plants need consistent access to water, but they do not want to sit in it. Third, it needs to stay light and airy. Roots need oxygen to grow. If the soil is heavy and dense, roots cannot push through it, and the plant cannot establish properly. And fourth, it needs to provide nutrients. Container plants cannot reach into the surrounding earth for food. Everything has to be provided for them within the mix itself. That is quite a lot to ask, and it is exactly why a regular bag of topsoil or garden compost from the shed simply will not cut it. What you need is something specifically designed for life in a container. And that brings us to the main answer. Still with me? Good, because this next part is where it all comes together. We have talked about what goes wrong and why. Now let us talk about exactly what to use, what to look for on the bag, and how to make sure you are getting real value for your money. This is the part that is going to make your containers look completely different this year. The answer is a good quality potting mix. That is it. Simple, clear, and genuinely effective. A potting mix is not the same as potting soil, and it is definitely not the same as garden soil or topsoil. A real potting mix is a carefully blended combination of materials specifically designed to perform inside a container. It is lightweight. It drains well. It holds the right amount of moisture, and it gives roots the airy environment they need to grow strong. When you pick up a bag of quality potting mix and tip it into your hand, it should feel almost fluffy. It should not feel dense or heavy. It should hold its shape loosely when you squeeze it, then break apart easily. That texture tells you it has the right structure for container growing. The difference you will see in your plants is remarkable. Roots that are white and healthy when you repot. Foliage that is lush and green rather than pale or yellowing. Flowers that bloom freely rather than struggling. And the action step here is beautifully simple. Next time you are buying supplies for your containers, skip the general purpose compost or topsoil and reach for a potting mix that says it is designed for containers or pots. That one choice makes an enormous difference. Now here is a mistake I want to flag, because I see it all the time. People assume that a more expensive potting mix must be better, and a cheap one must be worse. That is not always true. Price is not the most reliable guide. What matters is what is actually inside the bag. And you can find that out in 30 seconds just by reading the label. Let me show you what to look for. Reading a bag of potting mix does not need to feel like reading a science textbook. There are really just 3 ingredients to look for, and once you know what they do, the whole thing makes perfect sense. The first is perlite. Perlite looks like tiny white specks. It is actually a type of volcanic glass that has been heated until it puffs up, a bit like popcorn. Those little white pieces create air pockets in your mix and help water drain through quickly. If you see perlite on the ingredients list, that is a very good sign. The second thing to look for is peat moss or cocoa coir. Both of these materials are excellent at holding moisture without becoming waterlogged. They absorb water like a sponge and release it slowly to the roots over time. Cocoa coir, made from coconut husks, is increasingly popular because it is a more sustainable option than peat. Either one works beautifully. And the third ingredient to look for is compost or worm castings. This is where the nutrients come from. A good potting mix will contain some form of organic matter that feeds your plants over time, so they are not relying entirely on you to fertilize them every week. If the bag you are looking at contains all 3, perlite for drainage, peat or cocoa coir for moisture retention, and compost for nutrients, you are holding a very good mix. The action step is to flip the bag over before you buy it and spend 30 seconds on the ingredients. Your plants will benefit from those 30 seconds every single day they are growing. Now here is the tip I promised you at the start. And this is the one that tends to surprise people. Even a great potting mix can be made even better with a few simple additions. And the difference it makes is genuinely impressive. If you are growing succulents, cacti, or any plant that likes very dry conditions, add a little extra perlite to your potting mix before you use it. A ratio of roughly 1 part extra perlite to 4 parts potting mix gives you exceptional drainage and stops any risk of overwatering in its tracks. If you want to give your plants a nutrient boost without reaching for a bottle of liquid feed every few days, stir a small amount of worm castings into your mix. Worm castings are incredibly gentle. They will not burn roots the way some fertilizers can, and they release nutrients slowly and steadily over weeks and months. They also improve the structure of the soil, helping it hold moisture more evenly. And finally, if you are planting something that you want to grow strongly all season without constant attention, add a slow-release fertilizer granule to the bottom of the pot before you plant. These tiny granules break down gradually over several months, feeding your plant consistently without you having to remember to do anything. It is the ultimate low-effort gardening move. These 3 additions do not cost much. You can find all of them at any garden center. But together, they turn a good potting mix into something truly exceptional. And for those of us who want a container garden that looks after itself as much as possible, that matters enormously. So let us bring this all together. Container gardening is one of the most enjoyable and rewarding things you can do, whether you have a large garden, a small patio, a balcony, or even just a windowsill. But for it to work well, your plants need the right foundation. And that foundation is the soil. Regular garden soil, no matter how good it looks, is not designed for life in a pot. It compacts. It drains poorly. It can carry disease and pests. It is simply the wrong tool for the job. A good quality potting mix, on the other hand, gives your containers everything they need: drainage, aeration, moisture retention, and nutrition, all in one bag. And with a few simple additions, a little extra perlite, some worm castings, a slow-release fertilizer, you can take that already great mix and make it work even harder for you. This is what stress-free gardening looks like. Not working harder, not spending more money, just making one smart, well-informed choice right at the beginning, and then letting your plants do what they naturally want to do: grow. You now know more about container soil than the majority of home gardeners. And that knowledge is going to make a real difference in your garden this season. Before you go, I have a couple of quick things. If this video helped you, if you learned something that genuinely surprised you, or if it answered a question you have been wondering about for a while, please do hit the like button. It makes a real difference to this channel, and it helps other gardeners find videos like this one. And if you are not already subscribed to Stress-Free Garden Living, now is a great time to do it. Every week, we share simple, practical gardening advice designed for real people who want beautiful results without the stress. No complicated techniques, no overwhelming schedules, just smart, effortless gardening that fits into your life. Now I want to hear from you, because this community is one of the best parts of making these videos. Down in the comments, tell me, what are you growing in containers right now? Maybe it is tomatoes on the patio, herbs on the kitchen windowsill, or bright geraniums by the front door. Whatever it is, I would love to know. And if you have ever made the garden soil mistake we talked about today, do not worry about it for a second. We have all been there. The important thing is that now you know, and your next container is going to be so much better for it. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.